for a second.
I'm going to take a shot on this one.
I'm going to say beer.
I'm buying everybody around on this. Oh my God.
And moving on to the next one. This might be in my future because it's where I got family right now. But the Arizona Coyotes are going to remain in Arizona. Phil, start us off.
I gotta say, round. I just don't see how the NHL puts in so much time to this franchise over the years and then just decides to relocate them. They've been there for 25 years now. Yeah, 20. They went there for the 96-97 season. That was their first year there. That was highlighted by the Roenick for Alexis Zhamnov trade. They paired Roenick with Keith Tkachuk. They were great for a few years there together. Nikolai Khabibulin made some playoff appearances and established hockey in the desert. I think with the NHL's initiative on expansion over the last 30 years, I think to move them to a more traditional hockey market would go against that and would be counterproductive and regressing instead of progressing. So I personally just don't see how you take this team and move them to a different market. So and now that they have new ownership, they have a stable ownership. They need good hockey men in their front office. And John Chayka was a major black eye in that organization, and how he screwed them out of draft picks with the combine nonsense. So I think if you get a good hockey guy in there, you start making some solid picks, and maybe this team finally decides, hey, let's stop retooling and let's actually full on rebuild, just go scorched earth and start from the bottom. You get yourself a franchise player or two to build around, and that's how you build it up. I mean, if anything, they should be looking at Shane Wright this year and then one of Bedard and Michkov the year after in 2023. So I'm going to say round.
Anthony.
When I got the news that the city of Glendale was opting out of their lease for making this season the last year, I was like, oh, wow, this doesn't look good for them. But the more I kind of read about it and really thought about it, I think it's actually the least likely that they move. I mean, there could be a negotiation tactic and that they have options to play in the meantime. They can go back to the American Airlines Center where they used to play before they moved to Gila River and play there until a new arena can be built, which they're trying to get done. Like John said, Bettman has tried so hard to make hockey work in non-traditional hockey markets. They've been there for a long time. So for them to leave now would just kind of make all that hard work he did with getting there in the first place and building hockey in the desert seem like all for nothing. So something would really have to go really awry for them to move. So I'm going to say they're staying too, and I'll go with the round as well. And as John pointed out, rebuild. They got 5 second-round picks in this coming draft. That's
trade up for a first.
Second-round picks. Yeah, I mean, you could do multiple things with that. You could trade a second for a pretty good, solid player. You could package some for a first. They're in a good spot right now, despite having the corpse of Andrew Ladd on their team. So I'm going to go round.
Well, you know what? Let's go one more round on this because you know something? I immediately heard that news and went, okay, so where are they going in Arizona? Because having heard as much of this from Arizona press a few years ago, especially when I was out there, they put that arena in the wrong spot. That arena is there next to a football stadium and where people can go 8 times a year, maybe 9, because I forget how the schedule works now. Because the NFL is just as kooky as the rest of the sports leagues. But it's there's nothing around there. They have their Hilton. That's about it. Awesome. Great job. If you put it in Scottsdale, you're around so many other things, and now you're drawing people to the town and the area, and there's so much more to do, and it's easier to get to, and it's just, come on, people. With this, how did this get this far? You built a multi-million-dollar stadium and multi-hundred-million-dollar stadium, and this is when they figure this out. I would find the city planner and shoot him. That's the first thing I would do. You're like, yeah, don't worry. Security's going to rough you up on the way out after we fired you. So that would have been the first thing I would say. Moving on to the first overall pick this year. Owen Power returning to college is actually bad for the NHL, Anthony.
Shot. It's not like Owen Power is a talent like Connor Bedard, who's choosing not to play in the NHL after getting drafted. Owen Power, he's going to be. I think he's going to be a very good defenseman in the National Hockey League. But him going back to college honestly means squat to the NHL. They could care less. He's going to college to be part of a super team with Michigan. I mean, Kent Johnson, Beniers himself, Luke Hughes committed to Michigan. They're going to win a national championship. And if they don't, something went horribly wrong. So I don't blame him for having that opportunity to go back there, win a national title, gain some more experience, live that college life. I mean, let's face it, he's going to be a celebrity on campus there in Michigan. First overall pick. He's going to probably have ladies probably swarming all over him. Live the time of his life. So, I mean, and this even it's not like he did it because Buffalo's a tire fire. I truly just believe he did it because he wants to win a national championship. He's playing college hockey. He's the first overall pick. It's going to be a good, experience from there in Michigan next year. So be it. So it's not a knock on Buffalo. It doesn't matter to the NHL. This is non-story. Good for him. Win that national title. Shot.
Phil.
Shot. It's bad for Buffalo because they want a player like him to be ready, and they want him to make an impact with the team next year. He would be the first player since Eric Johnson in 2006 to not play in the NHL in his draft plus 1 year. But I don't see how this is really bad for the NHL. I don't even know if it leaves that much of a black eye on Buffalo themselves. I mean, some fans would probably think that, and there are reasons why, and I can understand the argument, but I don't see it as a major black eye. They have some things they have to figure out, and if I'm the Sabres, if Jack Eichel's still there, I don't know if I want Owen Power around all that. I really don't. I mean, I think I would rather have that situation hammered out, let him play in Michigan for a year, let him win. If that team doesn't win a championship, it's a colossal failure because that's probably the most talented college hockey team I think I've ever seen. But let them figure everything out. Let him stay out of that the whole tornado of clusterfuckery or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what to call it. It's a mess, that shitstorm. But let him stay out of that and then bring him back next year. So shot.
Just out of curiosity, is clusterfuckery a word? You could put that in the comments below.
No, craptastical is another word too.
Craptastical is another word. I'm going shot too, boys. We're all on the same wavelength all day today. The one thing I will say about this is it's not bad for the NHL. It's not bad for the Buffalo Sabres, and it's great for college hockey because now you have that loaded Michigan team. Oh my God, that Michigan team is just loaded with first-round talent after first-round talent. They're like the Miami Hurricanes used to be in football, or the Alabama Crimson Tide. Screw you, Nick Saban. But it's just there's just so many things that you're just – this is good for Owen Power. One more year – if you're the Buffalo Sabres, you'd rather have him at 19 to 26 instead of 18 to 25. Just that simple. So I got to go with that. Detroit will be the most improved team in the league next season. Philk.
I mean, they'll be improved. I don't know if they're the most improved team, so I'm going to say Beer. I think LA might end up being the most improved team. I mean, you add Matthew Deneau to that center core. They have a bunch of pieces, and I mean, you could see more emergence from guys like Gabriel Velarde and Quentin Byfield could even make an impact for LA this year. So I'm going to say Beer here because I think LA will probably be the most.
I'm going to jump in real quick, Anthony, because first I know Phil meant to say Philip Deneau, not Matthew. And the other thing is, I'm going to go with Beer too. They look fantastic right now. Getting Pius Suter and full year of Jacob Verana, and they look like they might be good. The question is Blatchel really the coach that they're going to need? That's a good question. They've only had, I believe, 4 coaches in the last 30 years since Scotty Bowman. It was Babcock, Blatchell, Bowman, and Dave Lewis. So if there's any I forgot, obviously put it in the comments below. Anthony.
Yeah, Beer. I mean, look, they got Nick Leddy. That he should help stabilize their defense. Be a good mentor for Moritz Seider. Then like they got Nedeljkovic in goal. I mean, that's a huge upgrade. I mean, the guy was a finalist for Rookie of the Year. So that was definitely a good move. Like you mentioned, Pius Suter. And then listen, they're still going to be a bad team because overall their defense still isn't great. I mean, you're talking Mark Stahl and
Nick
Danny Kaiser and I mean, Phil Hronek is a pretty good defenseman, but so they still have a lot of holes, but they'll be improved. For me, I think Chicago might be the most improved. I mean, you added Seth Jones to the blue line, then they got Marc-Andre Fleury, who won the Vezina in goal. They're going to get Jonathan Taves back most likely. So those are some 3 pretty big ads. Detroit will definitely be improved, but I don't know if you could say they're by far and away the most improved. So that's why I'm going Beer, not Round.
I guess we'll wait 1 second for Philk, or hopefully, yeah, hopefully it's not a long break. We'll just go back to you, Ant, because we'll start this off because this was one of yours, I think. The Seattle Kraken. Not you? It wasn't you?
Couple of weeks ago, I said they can make the playoffs. This wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Well, the Seattle Kraken can win the Pacific Division. Then in that case, I guess it's Phil that put this in. So,
which is weird because I think he was almost like borderline shot on them making the playoffs. So if he put this in, then that's surprising.
Well, it would get got on there somewhere, or somebody hacked me. So, there's much worse things if you hacked me.
I'm gonna go shot on this. I don't see I was a proponent saying that they could possibly squeeze in because if you look at the Pacific Division, I mean you have Vegas, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll definitely be there. And even though I think Edmonton is flawed, you got to assume Edmonton will have that second spot. So that third spot was going to come down to L.A., Calgary, Seattle. That's why I toyed around with the fact they can make the playoffs. But win the division, there's no shot in hell they're going to be better than Vegas. I mean, Vegas, Robin Leonard would have to get hurt. Mark Stone would have to, decide he wanted to retire, take up a career in fly fishing. Max Pacioretty would say, I'm going to quit, move back to Connecticut, and work on a farm. Like it's just and then Marchessault and William Karlsson would have to tear their ACLs. It's not happening. There's no shot in hell.
And while we're at it, Connor McDavid is going to try to will them to a playoff spot. And there's LA, we're saying, could be one of the most improved teams. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to say the word shot before I get too much further into this. Because I'm just looking around that division. No. Also, by the way, we're even talking about just the division. How about I'm not sold on Dave Hackstall, and I wonder where the goals are coming from on that team. Yanni Gord is going to miss. Maybe. I mean, everyone's good enough to get 20. So
James Schwartz,
if he's healthy, health is always a factor with Jaden Schwartz. I mean, I love the idea of it, but unfortunately it's just the idea. I don't think that's going to happen either. So the funny thing is, this might be Phil's question, and he's still missing it. Hope everything's all right.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, you're here. Okay, good.
Yeah,
I was actually looking for a text. I thought there was actually a problem.
No. I'm saying shot to this. I just think that they're far too far behind. I think they might be competitive, and they'll be in games, and maybe they'll even be in the race to make the playoffs by the end of the season. Maybe it's one of those galvanizing situations where everybody overlooks them and they just outwork people. But ultimately, I just think there's not enough talent there. Their goaltending situation is all right. I like their defense, but their forward group leaves a little bit to be desired for me. So I'm saying shot here.
2 questions for you, Phil. One, was this yours?
Yes.
Topic? Okay. And also, do you know who else is far behind? Candlebox. So come on, people. What do you want? Good jokes? So
or Orlando from 94.3 The Shark would absolutely love that reference. Or like his favorite band. So
all right. And lastly, and I'm going to start this one off as well, Auston Matthews repeat on NHL 22's cover shows the decline of the EA franchise. I wanted to say bye everybody around. I'm going to go just to beer on this. I did not get NHL last year. Now, part of it had to do with timing. Gears of War was coming out, and I just kind of never went back to it. But also, it's just all EA franchises have been kind of dying off because they're lacking originality and they're just trying to go with online HUT modes. It's like, great. Hockey Ultimate Team, awesome. I got to pay more money for something I should have had. Should have been the bread man. Hey, why not Mika Zibanejad? Why are you repeating the same guy 2 years in?
I wouldn't have used Zibanejad, but you have Panarin there. You have a Norris Trophy winner and Adam Fox. Come on, man.
Yes, and you know what? And you're putting them on. You're putting them on there. You just now. Granted, I like Auston Matthews. It's great to have an American kid on there. Probably the best American in the league. But 2 years in a row, 2 out of the last 3 years, not 2 years in a row. Still, all right, Phil.
I don't like the repeats. They repeated with Taze and Kane. They repeated with Ovechkin. Now they're repeating with him. They need to start putting new people on. New. You want to market players. Start marketing new players. Stop doing the same old players over and over again. Go to a different team in a different market. Show that these other players in these other markets are important and their names are worth something. Going back to Matthews again does the exact opposite of that. And personally, I got NHL 21, thought it was all right, but it's literally the same game for the last, 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
The specialty.
They switched to the Frostbite engine though this year.
That's the only thing that's holding me.
Yeah.
That's giving me hope.
Yeah.
If you know what, I miss games like NHL 10, where there was a certain level of realism, but there wasn't too much, and you could literally just play the game and have fun with it. But now there's just too much real life mechanics that they're trying to adapt that it's really hard to adapt. The last game I bought before 21 was 14, so it's not really Matthews that's the problem. It's EA. It's not Matthews. So I'm saying shot here.
Anthony.
I'm gonna go beer because I don't think it means it's decline of the EA franchise, but the choice to put Matthews on it is just piss poor. I mean, how much talent's in this league? Like, you couldn't tell me like Panarin or Braden Point or Andrei Vasilevsky or Sasha Barkov or Cale Makar. Like, he's like what? Like, there's so many good young players in this league. You've literally picked Auston Matthews for the second year in a row. Like, I don't understand that. I just don't understand that at all. One single bit doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, there's so much young talent in this league that they could have chose to put on the cover, and they choose Matthews again. Doesn't make sense to me. Dumb.
I mean, even if you wanted to go to Draisaitl, you wanted to go to
Draisaitl, another one.
Nate McKinnon has been on one.
Yeah, Nate McKinnon would have been a really good one.
I mean, or how about Kucherov? I think did Kucherov make one of them recently?
No.
Okay, Kucherov's one. Braden Point's another. I mean, we could go on for a while with a lot of different guys, but it's just there. Yeah, Auston Matthews again. So what? So we could be reminded you can't win a playoff series. Is that it? I mean, come on. I mean, again, by the way, the worst hockey breakup of all time is the Stanley Cup and the Toronto Maple Leafs. You'll never see that thing ever again. Anyway, so that concludes our bar talk. What are your thoughts? Are the Rangers really interested in Jack Eichel at this point? Kaapo Kakko's training methods, is that going to really be a breakout? Should the Islanders promote Oliver Wahlstrom? Is Arizona going to keep the Coyotes? Dougie Hamilton going to live up to his contract. So
I actually had one more topic that I put in there a little earlier on today. I don't know.
Oh, really? I didn't even see it. So
yeah, I think this is a good one because this is actually a very recent piece of news that just came out.
Ooh, regarding yes, it is. So hold on. By the way, while I'm actually copying and pasting this, if you guys haven't subscribed, we are available now on iTunes and Spotify.
Yes,
for you. So we are available in audio. It's not exactly helping us monetarily just yet, but we're always working to keep on making excellent content, which I'm going to go on a rant about that and when we get to our Q&A. But all right, so Kirill Kaprizov will end up back with Minnesota with the deal he was seeking. Phil, this is yours, so go right in.
Well, I don't know if either of you heard, but CSKA Moscow actually came out and denied that they offered Kirill Kaprizov that $10 million deal. So now we're getting to the point where there's a bunch of posturing going on between the two sides. Not that it wasn't a secret or anything like that, but now Kirill Kaprizov seems like his cover might be blown there. So it beckons the question: is he going to end up with Minnesota, and is he going to have the deal that he was looking for? I think the longer this goes, I think the less of the chance that there is that he ends up back with Minnesota with that deal. I think ultimately they would love to take him back, but I don't think they would. CSKA in Moscow, that is. CSKA in Moscow would love to sign him, but I don't think that he signs for $10 million over there. And I know that the taxes are different there, so he walks away with more. But I think that he might end up having to take maybe a $6 to $7 million deal for those 3 or so years and stay in Minnesota and get a shorter bridge. So this way, I mean, they might make the sacrifice. So, hey, we're going to give you the term you're looking for, but it's going to be on our terms on the AAV. And that's what I said about Barclay Goodrow. You have to win one of the battles. You have to win either term or AAV. Because if you don't win either, then you're usually left with a bad contract and it ends up screwing the team in the end. So I think that, like I said, the longer this goes, I'm going to say beer for right now.
Anthony.
Shot, because I don't think there's no way the Wild are giving him the 2 to 3 year deal worth $9 million that he wants at this point. I still think he can get $9 million, but he's going to have to agree to take 5 years or so to get it. I don't think there's no shot in hell the Wild are going to give him exactly what he wants. I think he ends up back there on a 4 to 5 year deal, worth about $8 to $9 million. I think he'll get that, but he's not getting the 2 to 3 years. No way in hell.
I'm gonna go shot too because club's got the hammer, and you can't go to the KHL right now, because they got their budgets, and also the KHL has a transfer agreement with the NHL. I don't think you can go back just that easily. So, look, Minnesota might have to bite the bullet and just say, we'll sign him for 3 years, we'll deal him next year. But it's unreal that you can have your top prospect come over and then he'll be gone before they even know it. So that might just sour on other situations. But as usual, we always want to know what you guys think. Throw that down in the comments below. Do you think Kaprizov's going to get the deal that he wants? Do you think Arizona's going to keep the Coyotes? We got a lot of those. So, and always, don't forget to put the thumb over Anthony's face and say like our videos. So All right, guys, we're going to do a couple of honest press conferences. And actually, I just noticed there was all three of them. So I hope you guys are ready.
Connor, just can you give me your sense of kind of where the group is at?
Once again, my teammates come up short.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Big Apple Hockey Honest Press Conferences, where we, if you like that video, we got a lot more. So check out any of these that are right over here. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.